The modern-day Republic of Yemen was previously divided into two countries, North Yemen and South Yemen, which raises the obvious question, why was it like this? Why were there two Yemens? So let's take a look at the history of both North and South Yemen individually to understand. Let's start with North Yemen. In 1918, the Ottoman Empire was abolished, and all the territories that were in present-day Yemen ruled by the Ottomans, they went to British control. And there was a Zaydi Shia leader, Imam Yahya, from the Rasid, also known as the Qasimi dynasty. He had an agreement with the British, and because of that agreement, he ended up getting most of the territories, while some of them went to Saudi Arabia after long wars between the local Arab rulers. Now, Imam Yahya established the Mutawakkilite Kingdom of Yemen, but in 1948 he was assassinated in a coup, and his son Imam Ahmed succeeded him. Now, he was titled both king and imam. He was the king of Yemen and he was the imam of the Zaydi community. He established relations with Egypt, China, and the Soviet Union. In 1958, Egypt's Nasser decided to, make something called the United Arab Republic. It was consistent of the Second Syrian Republic and Egypt, including Egyptian Gaza. At that point, Gaza had been annexed by Egypt. And if you want to know how and why Egypt annexed it, just let me know in the comment section below, and I will see if I can make a video on that or not. However, the thing is, Imam Ahmad was very impatient to grab South Yemen for himself. And so, in 1961, when there was a coup in Syria that led to regime change and the new regime decided to leave the United Arab Republic, Imam Ahmad decided to do the same thing, triggering the Egyptians and Soviets as well, because Soviets were allies of Egyptians. And there were other things he did also to trigger the Soviets. Now he died in 1962 and his son Muhammad al-Badr succeeded him. But remember I told you his father Imam Ahmad had triggered the Soviets and Egyptians? Well, the same year what happened was that there was a coup by military officers led by General Abdullah al-Salah. Both Soviet Union and Egypt were backing these military officers, and they established the Yemen Arab Republic. Now, Imam al Badr had no choice. He fled to Saudi Arabia, and in Saudi Arabia, he appealed to the pro monarchy Zaidi tribes for help, as well as the Saudis. They agreed, and he tried to fight back, but the Soviets and Egyptians supported the Republicans, and he lost. So, was forced to go back to Saudi Arabia once again. Fast forward to 1970, and something very unexpected happened. Saudi Arabia recognized the Republic of North Yemen. Imam al-Badr was, he felt very insulted. He was like, why did you guys not consult me at least? And he just told the Saudis, just give me permission. I want to leave Saudi Arabia once for all. They gave him the permission and he left. He moved to England where he died in 1996 and was buried in Saudi Arabia, in Medina to be very exact. Now, North Yemen was a capitalist country and it tried to keep good relations with everyone. The West and Saudi Arabia both saw it as a counterbalance to the communist South Yemen, which was clearly in the Soviet camp during the Cold War. And this lasted till the Yemeni unification in 1990. Now, coming to South Yemen, its history is a bit more complicated. So, the British actually captured South Yemen from various local states and tribes, and it all began in 1839 when they captured Aden and made it province of Bombay Presidency. Now, Bombay Presidency was actually a part of British India, but at its peak, it was absolutely massive. It controlled not only just Bombay, but also Sindh in present-day Pakistan and Aden in Yemen. Now, from Aden, the British began to spread out and they created something called the Aden Protectorate. Basically, they placed local rulers and chiefs under the British protectorate like they had done earlier in Afghanistan. But Aden province was a separate entity. Okay, you can see in this map also, and the province still remained part of British India. But then in 1935, Aden province was separated from both British India and the Bombay Presidency. And in 1936, it was declared that from 1937, Aden will be a colony of its own, just like British India, British Burma, British Ceylon, and so on. In 1959, Britain established something called the Federation of the Emirates of South Arabia for the South Arabian states to join. Saudi Arabia was basically British Yemen. Okay, so six states joined first, followed by another nine. Then in 1962, it was renamed the Federation of South Arabia, and the same year talks began to let Aden join the federation as a state. But remember, Aden was a province of the British Empire. Okay, I mean it was a colony technically, not even a province. It was under direct British rule, under British sovereignty. So there were talks on how to let it join, but in the end, the British agreed, and Aden was allowed to join as a state. And this happened in 1963. In 1964, the Upper Aulaki Sheikhdom joined the federation, becoming the last state to do so. And in 1965, the British temporarily suspended local administration and imposed direct rule because there was an uprising against the British and they didn't like it. Now, there were also states who did not join the federation. They stayed in the protectorate till the very end. Six of these, to be very exact. Though Upper Jaffa was a confederation, there were lots of sheikdoms inside the confederation. So how you count it depends on you. Now, in 1967, both the Protectorate and the Federation of Saudi Arabia were abolished, and South Yemen became an independent state. Just 2 years later, there was a coup, and the country became communist and pro-USSR. And it remained like this till the Yemen unification in 1990. Now, if you guys want to know why the two Yemens united and how we got to this present day scenario where we pretty much still see North and South Yemen fighting each other, let me know in the comment section below, and if it's possible for me, I'll make video on it. But for now, thank you for watching.